lot of buyers are interested in new construction, and they kind of go at it sometimes blindly. And I wanted to bring you on so we could give buyers tips and we could be helpful to these folks and guide them through it. Let me ask you a couple questions, if I may, in regards to new construction. Okay. Where do you find that most buyers get hung up? Like, where are buyers really kind of missing the mark when they're going in without buyer representation on new construction?
I think they think they're getting a better deal by dealing directly with the builder or the listing agent, which in fact is not true. They're not getting any discounts. They think that person's saving money on the commission, but that commission's already been pre-negotiated prior to that house on the market. So I think that's the biggest misconception, because I get that all the time. And then all of a sudden an agent shows up later down the road representing them. And I prefer when that person's represented, because it takes me out of the legalities, because I know too much about the builder and the build and everything. So how do you represent both parties fairly? It's very difficult. And it's very difficult to be what they call a transaction facilitator in that situation, because there's just so much involved with new construction.
When a buyer's going in, right, what are areas where a buyer might be able to save money on the purchase of their home when they have somebody that understands and knows new construction, Vickie, representing them as a realtor?
Well, I think it is, what happens is the first thing you want to know is you want to see a spec sheet. You want to see what's included, because I think a lot of people assume certain things should just come with the property. Like, since I had the buyer, I told her, asked her, I put a list of all the extras, and the shower doors were extra. And she was so insulted by it. And I blamed the realtor. She didn't ask the question. They didn't ask the question, what's included, what's not included. And you could save some money by it. Okay, so say you got allowances. Sometimes the builder can give you a choice of what you want to buy, or go get it yourself and take that allowance and lay it out of pocket and purchase like, say your lighting, you want certain lighting, go buy your lighting. It might be cheaper for you to buy that lighting where you're getting it versus the builder, because they got to make money on it too. It's not giving you costs. They're giving you the supplier amount. They're padding the bill, and you want to maybe get that little bit extra. So if they're giving you a $3,000 credit, say for lighting, go buy your lighting. Maybe it's going to cost you $1,500. Now you have an extra $1,500 you can use as a credit towards your purchase price. So it will come off the top of the price ultimately. But there's little things that you can do to save little, money here and there, which adds up quick in new construction. It really does. Things can add up quick. And I don't think people realize the cost of materials still. It's still up there. And the limited supply is still out there. So say, for instance, you have some lighting and the builder has these certain lights that you could pick one, A, B, and C, because they're only going to give you certain choices of stock that they know they can get. And if you're picking A, B, and C, maybe C is out of stock all of a sudden. You don't know. Now you got to go back to the drawing board. So like certain things like that, I suggest maybe pick out your own stuff and save some money. And some people don't want to. They just want to leave it all in the builder's hands and let them do it, or the designer of the build. And then you need somebody that's going to ask those hard questions. And my biggest thing is, like, when I get a co-bro coming to me and they're new about new construction, just tell me. I'll walk you down the road, but don't pretend that you know what you're talking about, because that's going to hurt your client down the road, because they just there's so many questions you want to ask. You want to say, do I have a choice where, like, I've had one say, do I have a choice where the septic system goes? And I had a realtor argue me with that. They don't want it there. Well, it's not our choice. We have to follow certain state laws and federal laws that we have to do. And some people just don't understand these certain nuances, or even which way the house should face, because you have to go by the state and where they want you to place it, how many feet it has to be from adjoining properties. And so there's a lot of things that are involved with it that I don't think a lot of people realize. People don't seem to realize the delays that can happen when you're in new construction contract. Just prepare at least for a year if it hasn't started at all when you first go into it, because there's so many delays that can happen. And like Emilio said, with the towns, some towns are better than other towns. It just can turn into a nightmare if you don't expect a long-term transaction, because you're in it for the long haul. It's worth it at the end, but you are in it for the long haul.